Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today it's December. It's officially December, so it is already time to start talking about 2020. I know you guys are probably busy with the holidays and still trying to digest your Thanksgiving turkey and get ready for your Hanukkah and Christmas shopping, but we still have to talk about content marketing in 2020. So what are the big trends that are big in 2019 that will continue to be big in 2020? What are we looking forward to, and what should you absolutely include in your content strategy for the coming year? So we've got 5 things for you, and this is what you should focus on. This is what's really going to get the highest ROI for you in 2020. So first of all is high quality niche content with a high EAT score. What EAT means for Google, EAT, it's an acronym for expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So you want content that demonstrates your expertise and your authority in a particular subject and also is trustworthy. Do people go to you as the go-to resource for whatever your industry is? That is the goal, because that is the content that Google wants to direct their users to. So it's all about finding out how to do this. So it's really, again, all the SEO tricks, the keywords, the right length. The longer the content, the more, the higher the EAT score, the more likely people are going to consume that content, share that content. Blog posts that are at least, I think, 1,500 words get the highest number of shares. So keep that in mind. And I see a lot of SEO people right now saying even 2,000 words is really like the minimum of what you need for a high quality blog post that will get that ROI, get you in front of your target audience. And then a niche. So why do you need a niche? So there's millions, dozens of millions of blog posts being published every single day, according to WordPress. And that's just WordPress. That's not including other blogging platforms. WordPress, of course, is the biggest one, but there are plenty of others out there. So we're seeing dozens of millions of blog posts every single day. So why bother? Why even bother publishing a blog post if it's just going to get lost in the noise? The answer is niche content. It's not about trying to appeal to the broadest number of people. It's not about trying to go viral. It's about finding your target audience, where they hang out online, what search terms they're using, what questions they have, and what questions they have that are not being answered is the other key there. What are the gaps in your industry that you can fill? That's the key to showing up in searches. So you got to identify that niche and create content for that niche, and make sure that it has a high EAT score so that it actually shows up in those searches. So that's number 1. So number 2 is voice search. You've probably already heard a lot about voice search in 2019. That's only going to continue, if not get bigger, in 2020. We already have more than a quarter of American households already have some sort of virtual assistant, whether it's from Amazon or Google. More and more people are speaking their questions to a little robot that will direct them to the information that they need. So as more people continue to use those things, how can you show up in searches? How can you be one of those solutions that little robot will put in front of their users? Because it looks like we're going to have even more people using those home virtual assistants. So we've got, I think the projected, it was like 78% increase over the past year. So then in the coming year, we're expecting to have more than a third of American households will have those virtual assistants. And that's just going to keep growing. So it's all about how do you show up in those searches. And the answer is actually going to lead us to our third topic, which is long-tail keywords. So if you've got something like wealth management, let's say someone would put wealth management tips into a search bar. But if they're speaking their question, they're not going to say, hey Siri, give me wealth management tips. They're going to say, hey Siri, how can I manage my wealth? Or something like that. So it's all about those long tail keywords, which are already incredibly important in your SEO. If you're not already using long tail keywords, you're missing out, because not only is it easier to show up, that goes back to that niche content, fewer people are searching for those long tail keywords, but most of the time when they are searching those long tail keywords, they are at a later stage in the buyer journey. Someone who is looking for wealth management tips is probably just looking for some DIY tips. They're probably not looking to hire someone right now, but if they're looking for, let's say, a financial advisor who works with women in the Chicago area, that's a very long keyword, and they are looking for someone specific, and they are ready to buy. They are ready to hire someone. So using those keywords can be incredibly useful, not just in showing up in searches. Again, those dozens of millions of blog posts that get published every day, they're using those short, a lot of them are using short keywords. So by using the long tail keywords, you can show up in those searches and get in front of your customer when they're ready to buy from you, when they're ready to hire you. So next up is images. Tip number 3 is SEO friendly images. Now I know this might sound like an oxymoron because Google can't actually read images yet, but you know what Google can read is the title of the file, and the alt tag, the alt text, is the little meta tag that you put in. If you use WordPress, it makes it super easy. You just put the keyword into that alt text little bar that they provide for you, and Google can read that. So make sure that those are relevant keywords, because those are going to help you show up in searches. And Google also tracks if people come back from your website. How long do they stay on your website, and do they come back, or do they click on something else? If they don't come back to Google, that's actually a good thing. Google likes that because it means that Google successfully directed them to what they're looking for. So if they get to your website and they like what they see and they stick around and you convert them into a buyer, that's awesome for you, and that's also awesome for Google. So Google will like that, and they will continue to rank your website in searches for those relevant keywords, so that everybody wins, and then the person found what they're looking for, and it's a win-win all around. And images are a part of that. People, obviously we're all reading, but we love those images to break up the content and to help us better understand the content, to help make it easier for us. So you've got graphs, you've got charts, you've got little demonstrations of what's going on. It should improve the user experience when you use those images. So make sure you are taking advantage of images and that you're using the right file type. You've got JPEGs, you've got PNGs. Different file types are best for different sizes and different image quality. So keep all that in mind, and make sure they're sized appropriately as well for your website. And it's super easy. If you don't use Canva, I highly recommend it. That makes it super easy for novices who are not professional graphic designers to get their images to the size they want and looking great. So that is it. And then our 5th and final tip is interactive content. So let's say you've got an infographic. People can just read through the infographic, which is great. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a graph that has a ton of information, and people love those because they're much more likely to scroll all the way through them and consume all of that content than they are to read through your entire blog post, which might have much more information, more in-depth information. But if you have an infographic that includes little animated bits, that's much more interesting and will keep users engaged, and again can help convert them in the buyer journey, help them take that next step. And then click here for more information. You can have little buttons in your infographic that help people, help direct them to more information, more in-depth information on a particular topic, on a particular section of that infographic. If they're scrolling through and it's like, yeah, I know this, or yeah, okay, a lot of this isn't really relevant to me, but ooh, that's interesting. I want to know more about that right there. If you can make it easy for them to just click through and get more information on the topic that they're really interested in, it's golden. And again, it makes it easier for you to convert that customer, which of course is the end goal to all of our content marketing efforts. So that is it. Those are our 5 tips for upping your content strategy in 2020. Those are the things that I highly, highly recommend that you do next year. And if you have any other questions, if you need someone to write the blog posts for you or do that keyword research for you, or all of the above, that is what we are here for. You can reach out to us. We are at avwritingservices.com, and our email is info@avwritingservices.com. And that's it for this week. Have a great week and happy marketing.